there's that big content creation match, isn't there? France against England soon.
Is there?
Yeah.
What, rugby?
Rugby. Supposedly it's like 30,000 tickets sold or something. Crazy.
I missed that.
What?
Yeah, I've
I've
heard
not seen
anything
that at
about
all.
that.
Somebody messaged me the other day saying, am I keen to play? And I was like, I'm Welsh.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Counter Culture Podcast. Joined on my left-hand side by two Saracens starlets in Seva, Kava and Asa Stuart-Harris. Welcome to the pod, lads.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
And then,
Let's clap ourselves.
And then on my right, we've got the voice of Bucks Rugby and the main man, the rugby trainer himself off Instagram, Ben John. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
Ripple there. Okay, so today we're going to talk a lot of things rugby, a little bit about commentary, speaking about the national leagues. I know you boys have been playing it as well, and just, the state of rugby in general. Starting off, we're going to go with the two Sarries lads on my left. I think we're going to start with Seva. Just talk about your story. I know you said to me earlier that you were born in Fiji and then obviously moved to the UK. Tell us about how you got into playing for Sarries rugby in general.
Yeah, so obviously Fiji, rugby is like a religion out there. Like anywhere you go, you just see a rugby ball, whether that's on the beach, in town, like anywhere. I moved from Fiji to Cornwall. My dad joined the Navy. We were down in Cornwall. That was wholly like complete different culture coming from Fiji, and then you just see all these farmers. You're like, oh God, what is this? But yeah, I started my sort of rugby journey like in Cornwall. So I went through the Exeter Chiefs route. That was sort of their link down there. And then my dad got stationed somewhere else, obviously with Navy and stuff. He was moving around. I ended up having to sort of leave Exeter Chiefs Academy, and whilst that was happening, the head of the academy at the time wanted me to sort of stay. So I ended up going to Millfield, which is like it's quite a good rugby school.
Pretty good.
They were right. The old rugby, yeah. They were right, yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, so ended up, there was no chance I was going to pay the amount it was. So I ended up thankfully having got given a scholarship through there. And then whilst I was there for like 3 years, and then on my sort of last year, I did my ACL, and then Exeter was like, we were sort of going back and forth about like, if I'm gonna stay or not. And then thankfully one of the boys who I went to school with, his name is Ben Morrow, his dad at the time was like sort of involved with like Saracens and stuff, and sort of like picked up that like me and Exeter was sort of like having this dispute, and was like, oh, if they're not gonna sort of look after you, you know, you're always welcome to come to Sarries. And that's sort of how my Sarries sort of journey sort of came, like later down, sort of came through like under 18s, and that route. And then from there, under 18s sort of history, first sort of season with them now.
Nice. And also you talk about coming over as like, because your dad was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Obviously, is there quite a few Fijians come over with that route? Because Rockadaguni was obviously in the army, and that brought him over. But was there like a big group of Fiji, like kids your age, or
there's
like kind of on your own?
There's a massive community of like Fijians, and people who do come from Fiji. It's mostly military, because it's sort of like that's the only sort of way to sort of come over from Fiji. Like the sort of lifestyle is completely different to the UK. So military is sort of like, I would say 90% of the people who are Fijian who are in the UK are like military families.
Yeah. And what you say the biggest difference from being obviously in the Asaro Islands and then coming to Cornwall, obviously there's beaches.
Yeah.
But do you reckon is that like the only similarity?
Yeah,
or is it
Pasties as well.
Yeah, pasties. Yeah.
have a bit of kava on the on the beach?
Yeah.
How old were you when you came over?
I was quite young. I was 6. Yeah, I was 6 when I came over. So it was similar, like when you talk about the beaches and stuff, coming over, it was sort of similar in that aspect. But yeah, the food the food was definitely a big step up. Like, oh God, I miss
The accent.
The accent.
A little bit
God.
challenging, I'd imagine.
Oh man, it was completely different coming there, and you just, I had to. Sorry, can you repeat yourself like for one more time? I'm like, oh God, but yeah, probably food, accent, the culture, like the whole like sort of. I think Cornwall has his own. I don't know. It has his own little culture down there, but yeah, I would say like culture wise, and food wise, definitely complete change.
Nice. And few people might have seen Seva playing rugby on Instagram because all his tries at Bishop Stortford. He likes a long distance score. Pretty rapid. Have you raced other young Surrey star Noah Kalori in 100 meters, and who is quicker?
God, this question. No, you know what? I haven't. Me and him always go back and forth talking about who's faster, but I think I do have to give it to him. He has got.
They're going to claim it.
So
then.
humble. So humble.
He has got. I reckon, top speed wise, I reckon he has got me for speed.
Superb. And then Asa, with you, you're from St Albans, I believe. I think you spoke to Kieran in a video we've already done up on Counter-Rock about coming through the St Albans school pathway. Just talk about your journey into rugby and playing for Saracens.
Yeah, it's a lot less travelling than him. Let's put it that way. But no, grew up in St Albans, went Oways, they train, Sarries where they train, the same place. So went to St Albans School, they train at the same place that Sarries and Oways train. So yeah, literally been in Woolham's playing field since I was like 5, 6. If hopefully all goes well, end up being there until I'm like 30. So the ideal way, just every single time that I could go to the next level, I kind of got in, and then it was just keeping it close to home. I still live at home, which is, oh my God, so much better than the ACAD house. Like not even anything against the house, but just living with 8 other lads would drive me mentally insane. So I'm just living at home and trying going through Nat 1 and stuff.
Who'd
like
be
that.
the one lad in the house you'd least want to live with?
We both know
we
the
like to name
exact
drop?
answer. I can't
you can
I can't
happily name drop. Yeah.
God, you should go first. You live with
You're
him.
living with him, yeah.
You live with him.
You know what? I think we're all equally quite bad. I think we're all equally quite bad.
Media train match.
I think we're all equally quite
We had
bad.
Olamide on the other week was happy to dob people in.
Oh
so,
yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Go on, he probably dobbed you on.
No, I am quite bad, but I've gotten better. Over.
You're just quite messy.
I think you know what, Noah, he's on that list as well. I think overall, it's just imagine 8 teenagers coming back from loan, like everyone's sort of everywhere in shambles, really. So
Who's cooking? Who's cooking in the house?
you know what? Some of us share, some of us like cook to ourselves. Like I mostly just cook by myself, but most of the boys will like share and like cook together pretty much. But yeah, most of us will just cook by ourselves.
Nice. And both of you have played, obviously, in Nat 1 this year, a couple of champ games as well for Bishop Stortford. What would you describe, what would you think is the toughest thing about playing in Nat 1 as a professional player out on loan as a youngster? Like, what is the toughest thing?
I think the age gap, like some of the lads are like, there's a couple of lads that are like 19 like us, or like 22, but then you've got some that have played like 150 games for the club, and they've seen the likes of like Theo Dan or Toby Knight or like Andy Name Christie, like they've seen them come through as well. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird because the age gap, you kind of sometimes struggle to like find something to talk about that isn't like rugby, and you're trying to fit in, and it's, I don't know, it's like a whole new environment. Especially when I was there for a period of time, I was there like by myself with as the only like lone lad going there. So you're kind of like stuck in the deep end. You're like, well, what have I got to talk to about? But like they've been, they've been unreal. Like shout out to Bishop Stortford.
Yeah, shout out to Bishop Stortford, by the way.
And that's not even me being like media or nothing. No, they're
honestly,
like unreal. Our season just come to an end, unfortunately, but like they are, like they helped us so much with like just like being ourselves as well. Like they kind of allowed us to express ourselves.
And do you think, as a Prem player on loan in Nat 1, you boys can probably come into this as well, as you obviously commentate and you've obviously played, Would you be?
You're obviously good at playing. I'm not, but I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think you'd be like targeted as? So would you think opposition lads who just are like Nat 1 week in week out? Do you reckon they see you lads and think, oh, I want to smash him this week? Prem players.
There was an
like
incident. I don't know if you heard it, but our last game sort of together, we played. Who did we play? I think we played. I forgot who we played, but they're 10. I think something happened, or one of the boys like knocked the ball on, and he started clapping. He was like, "Thank you, Saracens, thank you," and I was like, "All right, okay." But yeah, I think that sort of always be like a sort of like a not like a target on our back, but like it's sort of like a like there's boys to look out for.
Yeah. It's definitely like easy chat for them to be like, oh, the Saracens lads coming in, like obviously younger and stuff, so they can kind of find ways to pick on you. But like we've never had any proper problems with it. I never. Obviously, like I know lads when we play like Tunbridge, like I'll know some of the Quins lads that are playing there. So I think like same with like Dings, they had a decent amount of Bristol lads. So it's a lot of teams kind of are in the same system. So it's not like a lot of teams aren't like, oh, look at them, they've got a bunch of lone lads. Whereas like everyone's kind of, oh, we've got our own lone lads, so no one can really give it as much as they want to probably. But I think I've never experienced anything bad. I'm sure someone's got a bad story somewhere, but
yeah,
that's the same with everything.
Okay, and then coming over to my right hand side, we'll start with Ben, talking about. So obviously you played for the Ospreys for a long period of time, retired back in 2018, and now run the rugby trainer account. Rugby trainer. Talk about making that transition from. Actually, you can talk about your professional career a little bit, and then making that transition into becoming a content creator.
Yeah, so played first game, 18. Against Leeds Carnegie back in the day. And then played my last game then, what was it? I was 26, so 17, 18. In that same week, I retired, moved to London and got married. So I played all my cards in the same week. So there's a lot of change, and where I'm from in Wales is a lot quieter than London. I moved up, and I was a personal trainer, so I moved straight into being a coach. In lockdown, everything moved online, so it was easy to manage a gym because you're just doing programs online. And I just thought to myself as well, if I was a young kid, I would not be doing press-ups and sit-ups and stuff. I would be throwing the ball around, driving my mum and dad nuts. So I just started to do videos. Kids follow this in the house. And at the same time, a lot of the Welsh players weren't allowed to train, weren't allowed to do anything. So I got in touch with them and asked them, can they come on live and do a live session with me, sharing their tips and their skills for kids to follow. And then it just started growing from there. And then when lockdown 1 had finished, I made a decision then to finish my role at the gym, which I was like the head coach of, and then just to start the rugby trainer. So a little bit of creativity in lockdown kind of made the spark of the channel, which is cool. It got me back in love with the rugby as well. So when I moved to London, there's obviously not much rugby at all in the centre of London. So I kind of did nothing with rugby for 4 years, and then having a little bit of time to myself, thought I love coaching, but I love the rugby side, so moved back into it and found the love for it again, which was cool.
So do you think at the end of your time at the Ospreys, you like lost the love completely? Was that one of the reasons you retired, or was it? No,
I retired through injury. So, and what Ospreys were awesome is my contract was finishing in June. So in January, where I made the decision I'm finishing, I then had that 4 or 5 months to prepare because I didn't have anything ready. So I was like, right, personal training course. They supported me, they helped me all the way through that. And then when June or April, whatever the date was, finished, they virtually helped me all the way up to there to have that transition, which was cool.
Was there any like one particular video you did that like really blew up and you thought, oh, okay, I can actually like make something out of this, I suppose?
A lot of the videos that do well are the comedy ones, the entertainment ones. So obviously a lot of my platform is coaching, educational. That is good. That gets my target audience. But if you want views, they have to go more towards the entertainment side. So a lot of the entertaining videos I did have one that hit 200 million on YouTube.
Just a flex there.
Yeah, which is crazy. I was like, what? That just blew up. So yeah, there's a few videos that I've just popped, but again, they're more on the entertainment side.
What happens when you get 200 million views? Does your inbox get flooded? Like, so what happens?
Yeah, I was like, why have I got so many people following me? What's going on? I clicked on this one video and it was just a passing challenge. And blew up. Luckily it was on YouTube. So just the subscribers just blew up. Yeah, it was just a lot of subscribers. So luckily they can't message me.
Luckily.
So yeah.
He's a quiet man. He doesn't
not great. Yeah, the communication side, but yeah, it was cool. Yeah, some of the views. It's been cool to see. Yeah, real supportive. And I was lucky as well. I caught it just before the rugby social media boom type thing. It's obviously on a huge trajectory up now, but so I was lucky. I was 6 years ago.
You're the OG.
There's a couple before me, but yeah, I caught it at the right time. So there's a lot of luck involved as well.
Nice. And then obviously Byrnesy.
Yeah.
If anyone has ever watched any type of schoolboy rugby, Roslyn Park Sevens, Bucks as well, you are probably the voice that they have heard. How did you get into commentary?
Totally stumbled into it, if I'm being completely honest. I was in a transitional period professionally, I would say. And I played for a team, a Sevens team that went and played in a tournament in Kenya. So played in the Machakos Sevens, which was pretty rough around the edges as a tour. And it transpired that the guy who put the team together owned a streaming company. And this is before kind of anyone knew what streaming was. And he was looking for someone, like a new guy on screen, basically. And I'd put on a bit of a performance in Wizards nightclub in Machakos. And he was like, I think this could be our guy. So he had the contract for Bucks Super Rugby. And this is like before anyone knew what Bucks Super Rugby was. And I went to Exeter, so it was a good match. But he said, look, I can't put you on without trialing you. Got to test you first. I'm doing the Ibiza 10s in 3 weeks. Can you come out? I'll pay for you to come out. I'll put you up and you'll be in Ibiza for the week.
Not a bad gig.
I was like,
for a first one, geez.
I was like, I like this gig already. So went out, like really mad, few days of this tournament, loads of like Red Roses, like current Red Roses were playing for Sevens teams out there, actually, like funnily enough. And he was just like, yeah, you got the gig. And then I came in the second season of Bucks Super Rugby. And I think back then, like none of us really knew like what it was going to become or what the potential it had. And the first season was the Alex Dombrandt year that, you know, as Cardiff met the Hartbury in the final, like Luke Northmore was playing in there as well. Hartbury won it, which I think they get frustrated that people forget when everyone talks about Dommers and Luke. And then it just boomed. And from there, kind of, I went on the journey, and then, as he said, ended up doing a lot of schools rugby, and then gone on to bigger things. You know, been lucky enough to do Prem, international, and things like that. But yeah, I am known for school still. Like my missus like rinses me about my fan base being 15-year-old boys, and I can never ever get recognised. But I went to the barbers on Twickenham High Street. I walked in and like locked eyes with this young lad. He's about 16, and his like jaw hit the floor, and he goes, "Oh my god, it's the next gen guy."
That's cool.
And his mate who was in the chair waiting was like, "Oh my, it is as well. It is." And I sat down, we just chatted about schools rugby. It's about 6 months ago, just chat about Roslyn Park, like St. Joe's, like the tournaments that I commentated on, Seva and all that stuff. So I love it. I love being connected to that part of the game. It's awesome.
Do you have like a favourite game that you've ever commentated on?
Oh, man.
Was there like a favourite commentary moment?
Such a big question.
Make it easier. Favourite event that you like working at?
Recently, I commentated on Portugal beating Georgia for just the second time in their history. So that was in the Rugby Europe Championship. Went out to Spain and did that, and no one gave Portugal a chance. And I've commentated on Rugby Europe for a long time, and all the commentaries are remote as well. So we do them from our house in London.
Is that quite hard to do? Because you feel like separate, you're not like in the atmosphere. I can imagine it's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, way harder. You know, you're kind of like in your office, your bedroom, or your living room, depending on which I can barricade away from my kids. And, you know, you got a headset on and the game's in Tbilisi or somewhere like that, and you're trying to translate it. So it's a lot harder, but I'd never done one in person. So the first one I did was the final this year. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. It was a bit of like real, genuine history. So that's pretty cool.
You can bounce off the energy then of the crowd and stuff. Can you in the house? I bet it's difficult to generate.
Oh man, and my co-commentator is this Portuguese rugby aficionado called Francisco, who
He's
again
class, yeah.
met for the first time ever, and I've communicated with him for years. He was the co-commentator, and he was like basically in tears, like as it's happening, and he was trying to hug me, and I was like, man, we got to still commentate it. So it was just pretty special, and also in the bar afterwards at the stadium, all the teams are there because they have all the ranking matches. So you've got the Romanians, the Belgians, the Dutch, all the teams in the bar afterwards. And there's a real nice, I say amateur with the greatest respect, just that amateur feel of when we started playing the game. The Belgians were all having a big sing-song, then the Romanians were getting involved. You know, the Portuguese have just won a historic trophy, and just mixing with all the players, it just felt good for the rugby soul.
And then just talking about like international games as well, obviously as a commentator, pronunciations is key. I can imagine pronouncing, so especially some like the Georgian names are not the easiest to do. Like, how do you get around that?
I've got someone in each country. Like Georgia, there's an unbelievable bloke called Sandro. He'll send me a voice note for everyone. It's just finding someone and someone who's dependable as well. If I'm at a game, if I'm physically at the game, I'll find the player myself, because I'm sure that you guys have had people get your names. I've probably got your names. I've probably got your names.
Seva. I was like,
Like for schools, though, you get given a team sheet
Right, and you
3
don't,
minutes before, scrawled by a teacher, and it looks like a doctor's prescription note. And you're like trying to pick them out and do your best. But I'll always try and find someone, because like it's your name, and if it's a big moment, you want it immortalized with the correct pronunciation. And I learned the hard way, because I did a game, the first international game I did was Portugal versus Switzerland, and I was a last minute replacement for my guy Dave Rogers. D-Rog dropped me in it. So I went over to Switzerland, arrived a little bit shaky about it, and they said, "Oh, we're so happy you're here, thanks so much." So the first game kicks off at this, and then the second game's then. I said, "What? 2 games?" They said, "Yeah. You're doing our under-21s against the Czech Republic 21s." And I was like, "Oh my God." I looked at this team sheet. I don't even commentate for a year. I've never seen so many Zs in my life. Not always easy.
Talking about just rugby moments, obviously you scored against Quins. Was it on your Sarries debut?
Yeah, Prem Cup debut.
Yeah. Have you got that clipped up? Is there commentary over it? Like, how was that moment?
It wasn't clipped up or had no commentary, sadly. But that moment for me, like, because I was on the bench, and then 20 minutes in, I thought I was only gonna get like 30 minutes. 20 minutes into the game, R15, Angus Hall goes down. So I'm like, one of the coaches go, "You ready?" I'm like, "What?"
It's like that Paddy Power.
Yeah. So I end up playing like 60 minutes. And yeah, it was one of those like feelings that it's just like, you sort of remember scoring home, Prem Cup debut, against a rivalry, Quins as well, big rivalry. But unreal feeling.
Nice celebration as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
We were talking about this yesterday.
It was one of the boys thought I was clapping, but no, it was like a why. You've been to Fiji. It's like my celebration is like a Y. It's like represents like where in Fiji I'm from. So like all my cousins that play rugby, sevens in France, they all put like a Y to symbolize like, oh, this is where I'm from in Fiji. It's like this sort of the heritage and like the village and like where I'm from. But
are there any other players from your village that are now playing top level rugby as well?
I have Seva. He's in France.
Just a casual name drop there.
And then just a couple like in around like smaller clubs. But yeah.
What he's not saying is when he did it, he was clapping.
I was going to say, I've seen the video.
So it looked like he just couldn't clap. So he was like doing that. So we all thought he just wasn't able to clap. He was doing some like seal clap celebration or something. And then he came and told us, we were like, oh, well, fair enough. But like the video of it, and the clutch control put it up, we were like, oh, no. We talked about it yesterday, we were laughing.
What's the vibe at Sarries for celebrations? Because I guess like looking externally for like a long time, I think I always thought, oh, Sarries are super serious and like it wouldn't go down well with Mark McCall and the gang.
Never.
But like, are we in a new era now?
I'd like to say so.
Yeah,
like some of the lads are getting involved with it. We've got a sevens tournament this Sunday, so some of the lads are already planning something for that. But no, like you look at like Noah's Love and Celebrations, like he's getting all older lads into it. I know him and Andy had one planned, but they didn't remember it when they played Newcastle. But
are we gonna get Faz? Are we gonna get Faz like on a big celeb?
I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see
it.
I'd pay to see that. Yeah.
I don't know. He's I think it'd be a hard man to convince, let's put it that way. But hey,
like
if anyone's going to do it...
Alan Shearer celebration, you just run around.
Yeah, exactly. So
back the halfway.
And then obviously, Asa, you played for England 20s this year in the Six Nations. We had Lucas Friday on 2 weeks ago, who's obviously a very decent nine as well. How is it to like... Have you played against him coming up through the age groups, or like how is it to interact with another very, very decent nine?
I don't think we've ever played, no. He... When I played in my ACAD league in my young year, I think he was injured. So we've never played against each other, but like we've like taught each other for a while. His dad helped coach me in the under-18s England program kind of thing. So yeah, like spending time with him, like obviously he's killing it, doing everything he is. So yeah, it's always great to like learn off other nines. Like even like obviously Lucas is starting, and like the other nines that were involved, so like George Newman, who's down at Exeter. Or like Johnny Wyman, who's up in Saints. Like they've all got, like I feel like we're all quite different nines in an aspect. So there's great ways to learn from, like take parts from each other, and we're always talking about like, to be honest, we love Northern out. So especially when we're involved, like obviously it's downtime, but when we're in there, we're North's out and we'll talk around stuff, and it's great to have them as such different players. So you can take bits from them and learn from them, and it's the same as like a club, like going from a 20s environment to then a club environment. It's so different, and there's so many different like characters and the way people play and the way that they train, and even do like little things like the way they prepare for games and stuff like that. So I think that's the main thing about going through like age grade, and like especially we're in our first year, so just talking about learning as much as you can and stuff like that.
I also got a text yesterday about you in terms of your name has like a special meaning, like Asa.
Oh yeah, no. I talked to D about this last year. And he was quite invested in it. No, it means healer. So my dad's Jewish, so Asa in Hebrew means healer. It came from my older brother's called Zev. That means wolf. I think my great granddad was called Wolf. Like his actual name was Wolf. So they just used the Hebrew version of that. And then they tried to do the same for me. My mum wanted to call me Hamish, which I'm half Scottish, so it would have been sick.
Have the SRU come calling?
No, I almost played 18s for them, but I had to hold out a little bit for the England stuff because it seemed a little bit cooler. But no, I would love to play for Scotland at one point. Whether that's, I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
And then Seva as well. Like, have you got? I don't know how it works. Have you got like an English passport for the Navy stuff? So do you qualify to play for England as well, or are you Fiji, or you got aspirations?
Yeah,
along
I'm
those
qualified
lines?
for both. Recently, just got my UK passport actually. So
congratulations!
Thank you. But yeah, I'm qualified for both. So you never know down the line. See what opportunities, what doors open up really.
Okay, and then come back over here now. Speaking about like life after rugby, like Ben, just to start with, what tips would you give to younger players? We've got these two lads here in terms of just like thinking about stuff after rugby. I know it's a long time away, lads. I'm not trying to jinx anything. But like, is there any like things that you wish you'd done as like preparation beforehand, or like how would you say along those lines?
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what you want to do post rugby, but I would say just chip away at your studies, make sure it's there, all right? Yeah, because myself, I was like rugby, and then when it came to it, I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? So yeah, first thing I did was I love the gym or whatever, or training and coaching, so I just did a PT course within a short term, and then went on my way then. But just chip away your studies and stuff, and then it's always there then when you need it.
Do you do any club coaching? Or is it purely just online?
Yeah, so when I first finished, that's how I know D. So I coached older Lanians, backs coach, when I was coaching at Manor as well. And then when I did the rugby training, I was like, well, I like my weekends free. It's quite nice. So, most of it's based all online. I've only now just started doing like camps, rugby camps. But yeah, it's just all individual, whether that's kiddies or some of the pros. So it's quite nice to do the one-to-one stuff, as I said, because you get a nice free weekend. Missus is happy then.
What do the one-to-one sessions involve? Obviously, I'm guessing it's position-based. But like, is there anything you think as a rugby trainer, what do you think is like the most important thing to like work on as a player?
One thing I love doing is just the warm-ups, like not just doing your standard warm-ups. I love bringing the tennis ball into it because it covers everything. Hand-eye coordination. A lot of players as well, they're probably thinking about what's just happened off the pitch, whether that's work or school or something on their phone. Tennis ball's really tough to catch if you're not thinking about it. So getting them clued into the session by using a tennis ball, getting them moving, twisting, turning, catching, good for hand-eye coordination. So I love the first 10 minutes of the sessions is I try to be creative and element of skill, but also a lot of play in there as well, a lot of fun. I try to stay fit, so then when I play, when I'm involved, I get involved in the session as well. I try to obviously beat the player I'm playing against all the time, whether they're little or old. I'm just like, come on, let's have it. And then it just creates that competition, fun, and test their skills as well.
Yeah, and there's obviously like, you're the rugby trainer. When you're coaching, are you thinking of a coach that you had when you were coming up through playing rugby?
I've had some unbelievable coaches, but just the coaches I kind of take. I listen to a lot of like podcasts with the coaching side of things. I watch a lot of videos, and not just rugby videos. A lot of like NFL stuff, basketball stuff, rugby league stuff. I see a lot of it, that the things that I feel like they're doing well, and I can definitely cross over to the rugby. So I follow a lot of that as well, and just trying virtually what rugby players do, trying to get better every day. But the same with my coaching. How can I think of different ways to continually improve and challenge players? Nice.
And then back to Byrnes as well. Obviously, you spoke about at the start of the podcast about that first game between Hartpury and Cardiff Met, and how Bucks is like blown up. Talk about that, like being in a competition that has absolutely boomed in like the last 4-5 years.
Oh man, it's to go on the ride with Bucks Super Rugby has been unreal, like genuine privilege. And I think we see amazing players to come out. I think there's been over 100 pro men's players to come out. So that's URC, Prem. There's someone playing for the Waratahs at the moment. I mean, there'll be like hundreds and hundreds from the women's game. Like loads of the Red Roses played university rugby, and I think WBSR's probably the second best quality women's rugby in the country. But I think it's just been, no one knew what it's going to become, and the result is because of not just the players but everyone at the institutions pouring so much into it. We got the streaming right at the start as well, and I think it just can go from strength to strength. It is the 10th season this year. Just seen the Bath teams that have just won. It's the first time they've ever won it, which blew my mind, to be honest, when I found out. But then you see all the players who you guys would have played against them, playing with them as well. And I just love that, you know, for me, Bucks Super Rugby and Uni Rugby, it's sort of like the last bastion of romantic rugby. Like there's that elite professional edge to it, but all of these lads and girls are playing with their mates, and you only get 3 years when you're at university to do it. It's not like a professional career where, I know, you've got a 10, 15-year career and you can move clubs and you can win something. You know, you turn up in your first year and you got 3 years with that group of lads that you meet from day one to win something, and that's the only time you've got. And there's loads of great players who've come out of Bucks who've never won it before, and there's loads of players who've come out of Bucks who've like played internationally, and I run into them at stadiums and all they want to do is talk to me about Bucks Super Rugby, and all they want to do is reminisce about their times playing there. So it's really, really special to everyone who's been involved. And yeah, I just hope it can keep getting bigger and keep producing the players that we have been.
What do you think is like the next step? Obviously this year, I think it was the Bath Exeter game down at the Rec had like 8,500 fans, which is nuts. Like, how do you think that the Bucks comp as a whole takes that next step into like getting even bigger? Could it be like collegiate college football is in America, or do you never think it would be that big?
Draft system would be cool.
I think a draft system would work.
I'd love a draft system.
That would be sick.
I would love a draft system.
Yeah, I think it would really work, because this is my controversial take. I think rugby, we know as a whole, has like monetary issues. Like there's not loads of money in rugby. And I think academies are great, but they do cost a lot of money. And if you just had like a set cut-off age, go like 21, and the best player is selected from the draft, like you can make a load of money out of it and get the players. So like your number one pick would be, I don't know who's been the best player in Bucks this year, like Tyler Afire, just because he's been on the podcast. He's been at Bath, has been tearing up at Uni.
Couple of tries
Bath.
in the final.
Yeah, a couple of tries in the final. He'd be like the first overall pick.
So Newcastle will pick him.
Yeah, so Newcastle will pick him. I just think I'd be interested to see like how big an event you could make that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would how you boys would think about it. Even like the AFL, they do it, but they have, I think the players, because they're from a certain area, get like a preference on where they go. So I don't know how that would work, because if there's like a dad played for like Collingwood in their AFL, then they're like linked to them because they've helped grow them. So they get like a preference on them. But I think you only get like 2 or 3 preference players. So that could also help with like keeping the academy system in, but also making sure that you make a bit more out of development and things like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love that. And it would like, can you think of how that would engage all the school kids as well? You know, when you're 17, 18, then you're thinking about that guy who's in your team or yourself, and like who they're going to get picked by. I think like it's tricky because so many Prem clubs are connected now. Obviously Bath, University of Bath, Exeter, they kind of were the pioneers of it. And I think like the main thing for me one of the main things is I don't want Bucks Super Rugby to become overly professionalized. Like I still want lads and lasses to be able to come with a good rugby CV, but not, you know, superstar CV, and be able to fight their way up from the thirds and make the first team and go and win something.
It's that old Thibaut Flamand story, isn't it?
Oh my God. How many times has that been brought up? But like Ewan Coyle, who was player of the final, he was in the 5th team at one stage at Bath, and he'll tire of me saying this because his coach said it to me, but he said to me that in his first, he said he didn't know who the guy was. And then he's player of the final, in the final, amongst all these, you know, these contracted Bath players, and he's the one who stands out. And now he's going to play for England students at the weekend. Like I love that. Like there's got to be like that hope piece for everyone. I think that's really powerful.
And then also talking about the developing of university rugby, you've got the Celestial Sevens that you
My
are.
guy.
Yeah,
My guy.
But you are you part of running, or I wasn't sure on your involvement, but I know it's a competition you're looking forward to starting.
Yeah, so I guess I did a bit of a breakaway sevens tournament because I think Bucks Sevens was quite a low-key affair a few years ago. So I did one with just 8 Bucks Super Rugby sides and got it broadcast on Rugby Pass TV. I spoke to Team GB to come down and actively scout because I think there should be a strong link there. And off the back of it, 7 lads got capped for GB that summer. And off the back of it, I linked up with Bucks, and I have the Celestial Sevens. It's at Richmond, and in the whole event is the Bucks Sevens. So all the Bucks competitions are there. There's the Capital Cup, which is all the big London universities competing to be kings of the capital. And last year we had 46 teams, 1,500 people. And then this year we're hoping for 70 and maybe like 3,000 people. And for me, I want it to be a celebration of university rugby. I want everyone from all the institutions descending on one spot for one day, like the Rosslyn Park School Sevens. Everyone remembers when they go to the Rosslyn Park School Sevens, right? And come down, play some like top quality code, and then celebrate with each other afterwards. And, you know, there's the prospect that we're going to be unearthing future Olympians by being selected for GB, and they could be seen at LA 2028. So that's what we're trying to create with the Celestials. 6th of June, Richmond Athletic Ground. Be there.
I love the you got touch involved as well.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. Mixed touch as well.
So good.
So just sprinkling in sports and getting everyone playing and connecting and a bit of off-field fun as well. You know, which is the essence of it all.
Obviously, we've got a 9 and a winger / fullback over here. Much Sevens experience. I know you played at Rosslyn Park. Did you win Rosslyn Park?
Touch yourself.
No, in my final year, we lost in the final to Brighton. I don't know if you commented that.
Your guy on the wing bit in at the end, and the Brighton player went down the right.
The back, which is fair enough. But,
Not that he remembers it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But no, yeah.
What's happening with the Sevens now? GB. What's the update?
It's based in Scotland.
Okay.
I think
It's quite sad.
it is really sad. It's really sad.
Specifically, like Rosslyn Park, that week of Sevens is incredible, and then
Ross,
doesn't go anywhere.
Rosslyn Park School Sevens is all the best parts of the game distilled down into 5 days, right? I think they had 16,000 people playing this year. And like, you win every game, you lose every game. Every kid remembers their Rosslyn Park Sevens, and like the spirit on the touchline is amazing. The skill development, that's like right up your street, right? And we don't seem to love it in this country. Like when it gets beyond 18 for some reason. And I look at the All Blacks. There's loads of their players have played Sevens. Like Ardy played. Leroy Carter was really prominent for New Zealand Sevens, and for some reason we don't see it as a pathway. I'm speaking quite England centric. Scotland see it a little bit more. It's obviously, you know, Wales.
We won the World Cup once.
Exactly, won the World Cup once, right? And then you look at the Red Roses. All of those girls in the back line played Sevens. So in terms of skill development, second to none. But I also think as well, like big pressure play, like, don't get me wrong, shout out Bishop Stortford once more. But, you know, playing Nat 1 is very different to playing in a knockout match at Hong Kong where you got 50,000 people. I think that big moment, like experience is overlooked. And I think of someone like Will Muir, who, now the Bucks Super Rugby lad from Northumbria, but he wasn't picked up by anyone, didn't have any sort of rugby CV, played England Sevens, and then slotted right in at Bath, and you know, has never looked back. So I'd love all the units to get behind it, and it's fun as well.
It is fun, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Asa, did you play any Rosslyn Park? Have you got any memories of that?
We had a very strong team for the Vars. So we came 8th.
Vars is still good.
The Vars is unreal. I think that's where the proper talent is.
That's not
one of
that
this fun rugby that the Milford are at. But no, we had a strong team. We came, I think, top 8 in my lower 6th year, and then we came 4th. Or we lost in the semi-final my last year.
Who'd you lose to?
Kesbath.
Oh, they won it, didn't they?
40 points. So that was...
Yeah.
I think we lost... and the problem with the cup is you're on RE1, RE2 quite a lot, because obviously it's quite a big day, like last day of thing. When you're in the vase. There's not a lot
Cabbage
of,
patch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. Yeah, you're on the pitches that you've got to walk about 20 minutes
Over the
for.
road, keep
Yeah,
going.
and that's
They're
fair enough.
letters
That's
of the
rampant.
alphabet you've never heard of.
Exactly. Like you've got 3 letters and then a number, and you're like, okay, great, we're here. So you only get really like 1 or 2 chances to play in front of a live stream or like in front of a relatively bigger crowd. And we got 2 games, and there were 2 games we lost, I think, for that whole year. And we didn't even get one the year before as well. So it was like it was just a bit saddening. But I think they are doing better. Because I think, we didn't do well this year, my Stabs, but they got a couple stream games. So yeah, no, that's the big thing. That's what you get up for, to get it live streamed. And I scored a try, and I've got it clipped to my phone. I know I do. So this is not bad.
What's the viewing numbers for the live? Do you know the live stream?
Was it
viewing
behind a
numbers?
paywall? I saw some of it was behind like a paywall this year. Or am I going mad?
Yeah, so this year they streamed all the pitches, RE1 and RE2, the showcase pitches. They're free, but then you paid a subscription for the week to see all the external pitches.
That's fair enough.
So, I mean, it's a big cost to put that on. So, unless you're on RE1, RE2, like you're not going to get seen. So if you've got a relative who wants to tune in, then people are going to tune in. So yeah, I'm all for it. We're in the content era, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
That's the one thing that I notice that when I come down from the gantry to go and get my 5th burrito of the week, I'll walk past, I'll see kids in the jerseys of the game I've just done, and they're all just huddled around their phone, watching
cool.
them back.
Yeah.
I'm listening to them slagging me off.
Because even at Roslyn Park, we'll finish off talking about Roslyn Park now, but there are so many countries that come, or teams that come from other countries. I think there was a Welsh,
Herpant. Yeah.
Herpant won I think it was the under 14s.
14s, yeah.
Won the 14s this year.
Against Millfield.
Yeah, big win.
That was good.
Waterloo.
They come from Belgium?
From Belgium, yeah. Their girls.
The Dubai
their
teams.
girls won.
There was a Swedish team, I think, came because I played a bit of rugby in Sweden. I think they came over and played a couple of years ago from Uppsala. And you even get I don't know, I think there's even from Hong Kong maybe at some point have rocked up and come over.
Yeah, I mean, Jumeirah English Speaking School from Dubai, their girls play the best sevens there all week. They're seriously impressive.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. There's a couple of Dubai teams, isn't there? Or is it just Jess and different age groups?
No, there's loads in America as well. So, I mean, mate, why do Millfield always make the final, by the way? Because
Them and Seva.
you've got good players kind of every year, but so does every school. Yet you always seem to find a way to the final.
I think it's just because of the history of the school. The boys, when they put the shirt on, it's more than just a rugby game at that point. It's years of just winning. It's oh fuck, I have to perform. I have to perform. But no, and to be fair, when it comes to the coaching and John Mallet, I don't know if you've heard of John Mallet. He's
familiar with his Freddie Gabatas. Honestly, those two, training under those two is probably the key reasons why over the past, probably not this year, but the past few years, at Roslyn, we've been so successful. Honestly, the coaching that you get there,
nice,
the
facilities you get, yeah,
superb. Okay, so we now go on to something called the cultural crossover, which is the next segment. The first thing we were going to touch on very, very quickly was your brother plays American football.
Yeah,
is that correct?
American football at Loughborough. Yeah.
At Loughborough. Did he play rugby beforehand? Or?
Yeah, he played at school. Never played any academy stuff. He didn't really wanted it that bad, I don't think, but he did it for fun.
So,
played at school.
So the point of this cultural crossover is it's going to be a very quick one. I think we're going to talk about obviously playing American football and rugby, but we're talking about what is the best sport to get into to play rugby. So McFarland, the Saracens back rower, played basketball all the way up and then got into rugby much later on in his career. Do you think basketball is a very good transition sport of the rugby trainer? Have you got any ideas about sports
basketball
that have good crossovers?
Yeah, you can see Theo's handling skills incredible. Obviously you've trained with him. What was he like in training?
He's
Yeah, it's
unreal.
freakish, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't.
Some of the stuff he pulls out, I'm like, God, what the heck have I just seen? Like what you saw on the rugby pitch, like he'll do in games and training. You'll see just more of that in training. I'm like, oh my God, it's unreal, honestly.
Yeah, I think basketball's up there for sure.
Basketball's
Just
up
the
there.
ability to handle the ball, move it around your body, incredible.
Yeah, and then obviously we've now seen some players. I think it's Harry Malander is now playing, obviously a kicker, so it's a slightly different skill set, but he's gone into kicking in the NFL. Even like punting, there's a crossover between Aussie rules and the AFL, the NFL as well in terms of that. And then you got players like Israel Folau and Carmichael Hunt played AFL, Rugby Union and Rugby League. So I think maybe AFL is also probably not a bad one. Speaking in terms of that as well, the other cultural crossover segment we're going to do is best and favourite commentary moments. So I'm probably going to come to the commentator first
Man.
on that one. I mean, I can probably say, like, I think when I think of commentators, you think about people who adds to commentary. So like for rugby, for example, I think it was Cliff Morgan in like the best try ever. If you ever see that YouTube video, it's the Barbarians are playing against the All Blacks.
What a score.
Yeah, what a score. John Dawes. Like it was very, like, it's an unreal piece of commentary and it's worth seeing. Sid Waddell in darts, like the Geordie guy, class.
Yeah.
Like any darts commentary. It's just like, but that is, the commentators always add. So have you got any particular moments that you can think of?
Any particular?
Do you
Particular commentators?
practice and create
like in the mirror.
Yeah.
Look at
phrases?
yourself.
The reason I ask, because like catchphrases are massive on social media now, and that's a good way for you to separate yourself from all the other commentators. If you think of all of the best commentators, they've got key catchphrases. So do you like think of creating your own one and then boom, chucking them in a game, something wild, something out there that can be relayed then on top of 1,000 different things on YouTube or Instagram?
You got to have in the back of your mind the social media clipping.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Like the pre-preparedness of it, I'm a bit wary because otherwise you find yourself like crowbarring it in and it's not quite right. And yeah, if it doesn't feel natural, then it doesn't stick. But like I'll be driving somewhere and I'll think of something, or I'll be looking down a team sheet and I'll think, oh yeah, like that could be nice. And then hopefully it comes up. So yeah, like some of it's instinct, some of it you've thought of just before. Like it's not like a perfect formula, but definitely like a good line.
Good line.
Good
I
line.
think one of my favorites is when it was one of my games. It was like carving it up, Seva, kava, and I was like, I like that one.
Yeah,
I like that one there.
Yeah.
Right off the head, I like that.
Yeah, it's like I think day 5 of Rosslyn Park schools when my brain is scrambled. I think I tell you what, actually, there's a guy playing for Whitgift a couple of years ago called George Falcon, and like he scored like the last try of the game that saw someone off, and I was obviously delirious at this stage, and I said, stick a fork in them, Whitgift are done.
Yes.
And
Nice.
yeah, and I mean, it didn't get shared. I feel it should have got more love. But,
With commentating, it's interesting, like the different countries have different types of commentating. Like obviously you look at the Europeans or the South Americans, it's very high energy, and then the Australians and then the Aussie rugby commentators are epic, like the energy.
I love like NRL. I love
so good.
NRL Aussie comms.
Ray
So
Warren,
good.
any like 25 best impossible tries, like one of the best YouTube ones I've ever watched. But his like talk about when Ben Barber scored a try, like flips over and puts it down the dead ball line. He's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's a bit more cultured in England, isn't it? I think that I'd probably try and bring a little bit of that sort of that Aussie
energy, yeah.
ruggedness to it. Because I watch NRL and like I'm there. I'm like in the moment with them.
Yeah.
And I just think that they just love it so much. That's my mantra. If me and the person I'm working with are loving it, then hopefully everyone at home is loving it. That's kind of the vibe I go for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You boys, any favourite commentary moments? It doesn't have to be rugby, can be any.
Yeah. My favourite football player is Aguero. So Martin Tyler,
mate,
Aguero
yeah,
moment.
that's-
Like, you can't get much better than that. I've got a signed Aguero shirt in my room. So like, I think that is like, if anyone talks about commentary, like that is probably I'd say the big moment that you think of, like that made the moment. Really.
That's a very good one.
I think for me, it was, Messi I've got two. I don't know. You've got the I got a Messi. When he's like dribbling through like 10, 15 people. And the other one, I forgot. I think it was in a World Cup. It was like the little boy from Rosario, Argentina, Messi on a million shirts, and I'm like, my heart's beating. I'm like, even though I'm listening to, I'm like, oh my god! Like you said, like
the free kick, right?
Yeah, the free kick.
Yeah.
It's like the little boy from Rosario, Argentina, Messi on a million shirts, and I'm like, oh my god! Like, why is my heart beating for this? But like you said, I feel like commentating like that when it like to any game, it like brings out like a different like sort of feeling like when you're watching, which is so good.
I think like Martin Tyler, like he's in that game, isn't he? He's like in the moment, and like there's nothing fancy to it, is there? Of him just like screaming Aguero and holding the O, but that's how everyone's feeling, and that's how he's feeling. I think it's like rugby. It's like playing. Sometimes you just don't overthink it. You just do what comes naturally, and the simplicity has the power.
Do you ever take notes from other? Obviously, like we will watch games and we'll take notes from players. Do you do that with commentators, or is that not really, or is it all completely your own thing? Like you've got your own style, or do you like take bits from other people?
Well, like Nick Fraser's.
Yeah, like Nick Fraser's, or like
deliver the energy.
Do you focus a lot about on like the way you speak, like the pace of it, or or is it just all completely just natural, just the way you are?
I think you've got to be yourself. Essentially, I think that like when I first started, I was probably trying to find that person or looking at someone who I liked and trying to emulate them, and it just didn't quite work. Or I tried to deliver something that I felt that the audience or the TV execs would want, and then you get to a stage of, do you know what? Like I can only be myself, and I'm just going to lean into it. If they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. But there's definitely commentators I admire, like the Scottish commentator Jamie Lyle. Basically, every time he picks up a mic, Noah Kalori scores 5 tries, and like his gift with words is incredible. His energy's right there, and his knowledge of the game is really, really admirable. So I admire him, but I can't be Jamie Lyle. So I let Jamie Lyle be Jamie Lyle, and enough. I just let Byrnesy be Byrnesy, and you know, hopefully enough people like it, that I keep getting a few gigs.
Up there is the Wayne Mardle. Can't speak. I can't speak.
That is just the greatest,
so
isn't it?
good. Yeah. Same with him, as his energy is obviously delivery of what he's saying as well. But yeah, it's just the energy, builds it up, and then
that's transcended though. Like I hear it randomly. If I'm walking past a shot, I might hear someone say, "You bottlers git," and I'm like, they watch the rugby league comms. They watch the cast.
Superb. Okay, so last segment is we do a thing called hot takes, which we get comments, people comment in like on our Instagram posts or on YouTube videos, and then we put them out and see how guests react. So they're all rugby based. So the first one is the 50-22 has been one of the best rules introduced in recent times in rugby. Thoughts?
The best, not one of 100%. The best.
I think that, and maybe the kick in, like allowing people to run through, like those two, just like you completely change the game. I think if you want to talk like really noisy about it, like it means you've got to defend the backfield, which gives you more space. And I think it just opens up so many more possibilities. Whereas kicking, you kind of think about possession, like you're kicking or will pressure them down. But now it's like it's a genuine weapon. Like lads will practice it and kick it, and if you can do that, I love it when forwards do it. That's the best thing. When you see a forward kick and then it pays off and you're like, oh, brilliant. Yeah, like what more can you ask for? I think that just, it gives rugby a whole nother like sense of a way to attack and stuff like that.
As a winger, are you constantly slightly stressed about being done on a 50-22?
Yes, I'm constantly just I'm like, please don't. Please don't. Yeah. But I'm constantly worried.
With that 50-22, I think what's cool to see is a lot of the scrum halves now are practicing kicking off both feet, just because I know obviously Dupont does it well, exceptionally well, but sitting in that position, what is this something that you practice? Obviously, the fullbacks in the right hand corner, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to stick it to the left, drill it to the corner. Is this something that you practice?
Yeah, like, and also like different types of kicks. Like I've tried to like point the ball one way and try and kick it and let it like banana kick, but like off the deck, stuff like that. So yeah, no, definitely like doing it off both feet will give you I think it's such a big thing now that people are trying to bring into the game, because there's so many more options, isn't it? That's the thing. So that's all you can really ask for, is get as many abilities you can, and then just do what you can.
Superb. The next take is, again, probably based for Asa. Scrum halves need to feed the ball straight, otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah,
How many times have you been pinged this season for a crooked feed?
never.
Never in your whole career?
No. Well, I'm first year out of school. Back in the this is a funny story. Back in the in school time, I had no clue what was going on in scrums. So I'd got told to tap the ball on someone's arm and then just chuck it in backwards. So I was like, all right, sound. Thought I was pretty good at it during the CAD League, stuff like that. And then when I was still under 18s, I came in and did a session with the Saracens first team lot. And obviously all the forwards packing down, full on scrums. Like, it's an environment that is, it's a bit tense already. And then I've got Theo, Dan, Jamie George, who were lovely and have helped me so much with it. But when I first did it, I had no clue. And I don't think I've been more nervous, genuinely, in my entire life, trying to put the ball in. And I'm waiting for them to stick their foot up. And I had no clue what it was going to look like or anything. They were like, oh yeah, I'll just show you your studs, and then just chuck the ball at it. And I was like, okay. And then one time, the first one, I was so nervous, I just chucked it in. And Theo was like, you can't do that, because it completely ruins it. But in France, they're making it so you have to like properly hook, and can't say I've seen much around that. But it makes it more of a competition, and that's what rugby's about, isn't it? Everything around rugby is making something a competition, and you get penalties, whatever, if you don't make the competition fair. So I think it's skewing a little bit, but I don't know. I'm for someone that's not massive, I like seeing scrums. Like, I feel like that might be a weird take, but I think if you can let them, because let's be honest, you don't really want to see you can't really see them hooking it underneath, but you can see them pushing hard. So I think as soon as you let them push for as long as possible, then I think that would be best for the game. And it's like it's a spectacle in its own, isn't it?
Yeah,
watching a scrum.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with the spectacle. I think probably something more could be done with talking up that little obviously in the summer now we're going to have South Africa against England.
So the scrum.
Scrum is like you're talking about the data, how many scrums have they won, lost, what's the weight, how much pressure's going through, who's going to win, and they talk it up, and then as they go in, get the excitement going.
I mean, I did Ireland v South Africa in the autumns, and I don't know how many scrums were in there.
Oh, it was a lot.
That was the one with all the yellow cards where there were 12 Irishmen on the field. Yeah. And thank God I had Rory Bess alongside me to just like defer.
Explain, please.
Rory, you'll go again.
Do you feel that's an area that you can start hyping up and creating more of like a big moment? Because obviously we have on screen, we have like the data of how many scrums have won and lost penalties against them.
Start putting in like sort of force going through, and you can have like a meter, like as if you're playing a computer game.
I think so. Yeah, something cool like that. Just gamify it a little bit, create big moments.
Well, they're trying to do it more on TNT, aren't they? When they've got Flats pitch side, and they had Jamie George pitch side as well the other day for the Gloucester game. So yeah, I like. It's just so difficult to commentate on, to understand knowingly what's going on. You're so close, and I bet you've got no idea, right?
Absolutely nothing. And like on the weekend, I was playing for Stortford, and the scrum went down, and I turned to the line. I went, "Sir, like yes, that's up. Come on, that's our pen." And the 8 literally looked at me and went, "You've got no clue what's going on." I went,
just celebrate.
I said, "Yeah, but if I say words, surely they'll give me something." So I think it's that, like, you don't really know, and there's so many, like, hearing like the old props talk about it, it's the amount of technicality and power and everything that goes into it. And like, I'll ask my mates that don't really play rugby or watch rugby, and I'm like, and the one thing they know is the scrum, because that's just such like a universal thing. And the way that, like, I don't know, I don't think I'm that old, but the way that they literally used to, sorry, that's probably bad for me, isn't it? But like,
hard paper round.
But the way they used to set up, and they would literally just go bash straight into each other with no like regard or anything. Like, that is, I think, what rugby was built on. And obviously you can't do that anymore with.
It was like Andrew Sheridan in that World Cup semi-final against Australia in 2007, where Andrew Sheridan literally, you just see, they're just smashing into each other, and he's just destroying the Australian scrum. Is like pretty unbelievable, and he's just a phenomenal athlete. just doing like back in the day, you look at those old videos of the scrums, you wonder how some guys is like still standing. Because just the amount of force. Because there was no like set hold. They were just literally just crashing into each other.
That's what that. I mean, I'm showing my age now, but that sort of feels like an era of like advancement in the scrum. That it was quite cultured back then, because people wearing tight fit jerseys back at that stage. Yeah. But I guess if you watch the video back now.
Back in the 70s, these used to just come in, didn't they?
Horrible.
Just come in and start pushing it. But it'd be amazing. I think it would just be quite cool to see all those stats, data, how much force is going through.
There is I think a player at Isha is looking to set up the elite scrummaging championships. He's like put it down as it's going to be like sevens, but for props. So he's going to do like
that's had a lot of love.
Yeah,
since they put it out there.
He's had to delay it because I think 7 of the teams he had signed up are now playing in the new playoffs in the rugby pyramid.
How does that work? Sorry.
So it's called Connor. He set it up and it's basically just scrums.
Scrum off.
Pack 8. I think it's like he said he's going to do it like boxing rounds. So you got 3 goes against each other, and then whoever pushes the other pack past a certain point wins. Then you set 30 seconds, go again. So it'd be quite interesting.
The run it straight of scrummaging.
Yeah, but I think it's that kind of vibe. And then the last one, which I think is actually quite an interesting one, and something you lads might have seen on the field, is diving to get players sent off is soon going to be more of a problem in rugby. I think you see it quite a lot with the French players, not to stereotype the French lads, but there's definitely, I think Tomo Ramos is guilty of it quite a lot. He likes to fall over.
He's so good. I went have a bad word said against.
He's class, but in my head I've seen him fall over from someone barely touching him. But do you think it could become a bit of an issue?
Yeah,
I haven't seen much of it. Much of it. Really.
I think obviously it's a big thing in football, isn't it? But I think the persona around rugby being quite a physical sport, I think it's quite hard. I think maybe with head knocks that people are maybe going down a little too much, but you can't say they're going down too much because
I feel it's more. I feel it's more of a dobbing culture that is beginning to grow, where players are pointing at acts and then looking at the referee. I feel like players are kind of reporting the acts of others to the referee. I think there's so much.
As in turning around, being like, "Oh, he hit me in the head."
Yeah, or look at this, and I feel there's so much appealing now in the game from all quarters and the touchlines as well.
Do you think it should go the route of tennis, where the only way you can get the TMO in is by having 3 challenges?
A captain's challenge type thing. They do it in rugby league.
I would get rid of TMO unless it's scoring a try or like a foul play off the ball. I'd just
and then everything else is a.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a game played by humans at the pace of humans. So then to judge it by frame with multi-camera angles is unfair. You know, when you're sort of breaking it down on whether it's feathered forward and is that deliberate knockdown or is it an intercept and things like that, like just play on.
I think the ruck entries are really difficult. Again, you probably boys speak a lot better than I would, but when players are so low and you're trying to clear someone out and your shoulder like might brush the guy's head, there's very little I think players can do. Like, is there like training sessions? Are you talking about like entry in terms of how not to connect with players' heads when you're clearing someone out, or is it pretty common sense stuff?
Well, you're talking to the most.
I know, the 9 in the winger. Yeah.
We're talking to the guys.
Sorry, let's just send someone else to it. But I think like the positions that some of the lads get in are so low that like there's probably points where you can't clear them out without hitting the head, which is. I don't know where you go with that. That's the problem.
It's a rugby incident.
It's one of those rugby incidents where you're putting yourself in a position where maybe you could get held, maybe you get the ball back. And I don't know whether rugby needs that bit of jeopardy to make the game cool, like fun or interesting. But I don't know.
Is there an understanding for you guys that sometimes you're just unlucky these days because of the laws? Like I think back in the day you used to get a yellow card and you could say that's the player's fault. But I feel that sometimes now you get a yellow card and you see players go off and they're just a bit resigned to the fact that that's the laws and you've maybe been unlucky in an incident. Do you like?
I don't know.
Or you always get bollocks at Saracens.
I've never been sent off, so I've never had the pleasure of that.
Yeah, the only really time I got sent off was last game, knee straight to the head. like, bam, I went to school to try, boom, knee straight to the head. I'm like, flipping hell. But from what you're saying, no, not really.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really. We don't really talk about it enough. I think maybe the only time I think that lads are young and have had problems with it will be the hitting someone in the air. A couple times where, especially the young lads, like
Clory's unbelievable in the air. For example.
But like you look at lads like I know Edo, Campbell Riddle. They got done at the start of the season for going to compete, and as they're looking at the ball, someone's jumped and they end up hitting them, and that's why I don't know.
It's a hype battle, then, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so unlucky because it's not like they're trying to do it. They just get the timing off, or they don't expect someone to be where they are. So I think, but it's a pretty black and white. I think everyone knows what the rules are, and I don't know.
How do you feel about the TMO interventions in games? Obviously, you're playing up to date rugby, whereas we were a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know. TMO, I think it's good because especially with like high tackles or when it's the ref can't quite see it when it's so quick. I think it's been good with scoring tries and everything like that for a while now. It's been so much better than the other sports put into it, I think. But I think that is the main incident is when people are crying out for you to look on TMO, and that's the problem where refs don't look at it because they don't have the time, or an incident doesn't seem too bad for them, and then it gets shown a replay in the stadium and everyone goes, oh, that's bad, and you can kind of hear it get changed a little bit, and that's when refs are humans, they maybe get affected by the crowd or whatever. So I don't know, it's a hard way to do, but I do like the kind of captain's challenge. I feel like that would be really cool, just be like, you're allowed it once, and if you can be like, oh, watch that. Can you watch that back, ref? Boom.
Burnsy, do you find when you're commentating similar thing? But like, so certain French TV producers, if something happens against the French side, again, I sound like I'm slanging off the French. I'm really not. The Irish do it, the English do it. I'm sure everyone does it. But
Counter Rock not going well in France.
I think we did quite well. No, they had their kit launch was superb. But like they always, if there's like a high tackle against a certain player, then the replay comes up straight away. And like international rugby, I don't know if you had that when you were doing the Rugby Europe stuff, but what do you see as a commentator? Do you see like the footage back, or can you hear like the TMO in the ear? Because I know in football commentary, like I did some stuff with Jonathan Pearce, and they can hear the VAR in the ear, so they know what's being said, even though you can't in the ground. Do you as a commentator, can you hear what the TMO is saying?
We don't get any different angles, but we can hear the angles being asked for. So you can, because they're relying on the angles coming from the directors and the producers. So they'll ask for an incident, and then they'll find the smoking gun or the angle that absolves that person. So you can hear it being discussed, and they're trying to find it, and you get an understanding of what the nature of it might be, and you can hear the TMO asking for all of that stuff. But it's not overly privileged. It's not like super top secret. And I think regarding French directors, I couldn't comment because I haven't commentated in France, and I would like to commentate in France. So I'm not going to
I don't know if they're going to let me over the border now. I'd be like, oh, you hate us. Anyway, okay, lads, this has been a superb episode. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope we can all come back on again at some point. Just if you're still watching, please subscribe to the Counter Rock channel, follow us on Instagram, get involved in the comments. We really, really appreciate that. We've got some really good episodes coming out in the coming weeks as well. We've got some internationals coming on the podcast as well, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers.